This was a good month when it comes to my journals and my planner because I feel like I was able to keep up with most of them, and I have a lot to show you that I feel really excited about, namely this new little addition that I haven't shown you in the past. So if you're ready, let's just jump right in. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Seppi and I share with you simple and practical tips to live a happier life. And one of the things that make me happy are my journals and planners. And every month I try to share with you an update of my system to show you how I'm using everything, give you ideas and inspiration on how to use your planner, how to use your journals, what to do for creativity in terms of your spreads, sharing you tips along the way. That way you can improve your system at the same time. So let's get into it. The first thing that we're going to look at is my planner. I use the Hobonichi Cousin. I've done different Plan With Me videos to show you how I use my Hobonichi Cousin as a functional planner. And this month I have been doing really well in terms of keeping up with my habits, especially the habits tracker. At the end of the month, I tend to fall off the bandwagon, but this month I've been doing really well. I have to update the last few days, but overall I've done really well with keeping up with my habits tracker. Still love using my year at a glance for my habits. It makes it really easy when I'm doing my planning or my daily planning to just flip from my daily spread back into the habits tracker to make sure I am updating everything. I'm keeping track of my habits, reflecting as the month goes on things that are working, that are actually helpful. That way I know that next month I want to keep up with the habit as well. Then we have my monthly overview, and I've shared this in the past that I like to keep kind of the same theme from my monthly to my weekly to my daily spreads, just to keep things simple. I keep everything that I use in my Stapo. That way I am making use of my stationery. I don't have to overthink things. Well, actually I put them all away because I already finished the month, but the highlighters and the washi tape that I use, I just keep them handy. That way I have less decision fatigue throughout the month. It's the same theme. I don't have to overthink it. It keeps things really simple. And I would really encourage you to start thinking of how you can simplify your process to be able to show up consistently to use your planner or your journal, but at the same time to make it a little bit more fun. You don't have to make it complicated to decorate your pages. Some washi tape, some color, some little doodling, it can really elevate your page and make it a lot more aesthetic. I share with you more simple tips in a separate video, but overall I will keep doing the same thing because I think that it makes a huge difference and I really love how it looks. So this month was October, more Halloween theme. I was excited to use this washi tape from the Coffee Monsters Co. Added some birthdays and appointments, etc. Added some stickers, color coded the appointments and birthdays and other things that I want to remember, just so that I can categorize when I look at it, the overall page, I can pay attention to what is going on for the week ahead. And I use this especially when I'm doing my weekly spreads. That way, when I'm planning the week ahead, I look back at what is happening if I have anything already scheduled. I also use my phone, my digital calendar, if I'm on the go to put in any appointments, that way I don't forget it. But when I do my weekly planning, I always refer back to this page to see what I have scheduled this week. That way I can pay attention. Oh, I'm being paid this week. Perfect. I need to make sure I pay my credit cards. I have an appointment for therapy, let's say, then I know that that evening I want to make sure I don't schedule anything, and if I don't need to, that way I can prioritize resting because I tend to be tired after therapy, things like that. And then another thing I've been doing this year is when I do my monthly planning, is to prepare the weekly spreads ahead of time. Sorry, this is the dailies. So I prepare the weekly spreads ahead of time. That way when it comes to my weekly planning, it just takes me 10 minutes to sit down and fill everything in. So at the beginning of the month when I do my monthly planning, I do the monthly overview, I update the habits, and then I also prepare the pages. I am going to be sharing a more detailed monthly planning process when it comes to reflecting, setting goals, and the planning as well. So if you want to watch that, make sure to watch that next or subscribe. That way you can keep up with the goal setting process that I do every single month. But all that to say, my weekly spreads, again, same theme as you can see, same highlighter colors, same pen colors. I fill in the to-do list, any brain dumper additional ideas, any appointments, any things that is happening like birthdays. If I have an idea of some things I should get done on a specific day, I will write it in pencil, at the bottom of the page. That way when I do my planning, I can factor that in. And then usually I erase them, but I guess I haven't, which is fine. But overall, it's a very simple and straightforward process. It's functional for me. It works. It helps me stay organized, and I feel like I'm still making use of my planner, even though the page is not filled up to the brim. My whole goal with this planner was for it to be functional. I wanted to help me stay organized and productive, and adding in some creativity into it, but not too crazy. So it has been serving its purpose, and I feel like I have really made use of my Hobonichi Cousin this year, and I absolutely love it. So those are the weekly spreads. And then moving on to the dailies, I have at the front my life admin tasks, things that I want to get done, like chores or going to the optometrist or whatever else I try to be aware of to make sure I don't procrastinate too much on those life things that we often tend to procrastinate on. And then the daily spreads, as you can see, same theme, same color, same sticker, same washi tape, same. It makes it a lot easier to do my pages. In addition, this year that I've done is a weekly recap and a weekend to-do list, because Saturday and Sunday, I don't need to plan my day as detailed as I do throughout the week. So I have a general to-do list that I like to spend on like life stuff, and then business to-do list, and doing a weekly recap of things that stood out the week, things I want to remember as a small little intentional habit to reflect every single week. I also have space for doing brain dumps, writing things out if I need to. So just having a lot more space and freedom to use some of the emptier pages, which often happens, and that's totally fine. This is not as pretty of a page, and that's totally okay. Some pages are a little bit more empty, but like I said, it's okay because I feel like I'm still making good use of my planner. I just really love how these pages turned out. I think they really capture the fall energy, especially with the brown and the little pumpkin and the decorations. I tried to use more of my stickers this month, which I think has been really fun as well, because I do think that I have a lot of stationery that I want to get through and make sure that I am using. If I'm spending the money, might as well use it. So I've been a lot more intentional with doing things like that. And that brings us to today. I haven't filled it out today yet because I've just been quite tired, but overall, that's my Hobonichi Cousin. Love how it's going, and I'm going to film a monthly plan with me after this video if you want to watch that as well. So Hobonichi Cousin, that is my update for my planner. Next, we have my bullet journal, and I've shared in the past that this year, the way that I've been using my bullet journal has changed from the last 7 or 8 years, and I have struggled with it a little bit, but it looks as though I am putting a good dent in it. I am maybe 2/3 done, and we're in October, so I do have to accelerate. Really want to make sure that I use up the whole journal this year, but I have been spending a little bit more time, like I mentioned, in my journals this month, which has been really, really nice to carve out time for my creativity, my planning. So I always like to have a spread where I do kind of like a scrapbook of the good memories throughout the month. I use my Canon IV2 mini printer to print pictures as well. So that's been really cute. And then I made a cute little spread, kind of incorporating creative spreads and also junk journaling where you pick up things randomly. This is the cookie packet that I kept to put it in. So mixing creativity, junk journaling, creative journaling, and just like a mix of different things. I've been loving my bullet journal more so lately because I have more time to do it, or I'm making more time to do it. This is a spread. I had gone out of the city for a weekend, so I made a whole spread just for a cottage weekend. This is also a continuation of the good memories, which I didn't think it through. This is definitely not enough for good memories. So I continued it on this page. I have to add a few more pictures for this month as well. And then this, I don't like how these pages turned out. I was trying to be creative and actually just use some of the stuff that I have. This is from my trip to Houston back in May. This is actually, all of this is from Houston back in May. Things that I kept that I actually just want to make use of. And I don't really like how it turned out. I was trying to just not be as planned and organized and OCD with when I do my creative planning. So I'm trying to be a little less rigid. but I don't like how it turned out. I still have to add a few things. I think I want to print a lot of pictures and just add it, and I think that will help. But the junk journaling, I'm not sure it's for me, even though I like the concept of it. I also tried doing a spread when it comes to another trip that I did this summer, well, at the end of the summer, to Albuquerque, New Mexico. I started the page. I still have to add more things. I think my issue is that I have these spreads, but then I also have my travels notebook where I have a travel journal in there as well. So I think it becomes a little complex. This is still an issue in my system, but we'll talk about that after. And that's all we have for this month. It's still better than the previous months, and I just want to make sure that I continue doing creative spreads. Another thing that I like to do, that I have to do because I have a few of them saved, is to create pages where I write a quote and I do a creative spread on the other side. And there's a few quotes that I've saved this week that I want to sit down and do. So that's something. I still have a few that I have to create from the previous months. Anyway, all that to say, overall, I've been able to fill it up more than I have in the past, but I still have to create a little bit more time for me to sit down and do my creative journaling in my bullet journal. This is my second bullet journal in my lineup. I've talked about this before and literally no updates. This is dedicated for my business because I often like to write things down and put down ideas onto paper. I have not updated this in months, so I'm not even sure I should be talking about it in my lineup. However, I do keep it close by in case I want to write things out, plan things out, but I've been doing a lot of that mostly on my laptop, and that's fine. No pressure for this this journal itself. It's just there when I need to. I didn't have a goal like the bullet journal to finish it this year. It's just there when I need it, and that's absolutely fine. So no specific updates there. I think the only thing that I'd like to share is that's why it's important to, before you pick up a journal or you start a journal, I think it's valuable to think through what am I going to use it for and whether you already have a journal that's similar to that. This is still something that I think I will keep regardless because I like to write things down and keep everything when it comes to my business in one. However, when it comes to your journal and planner system, I just want to share that tip just to make sure that you are being intentional with what you're bringing into your lineup, because it can be really easy to just buy new journals all the time and then not have a purpose for them and just have an overflow of too many journals. So if you want to think through more specifically your journal and planner system for next year, then make sure to watch this video. I'm going to leave it up here. That way you can think through logically a step-by-step process of how to think through what journals to include in your system, how to use them, etc. So I created a really like a guide of how to think it through. So make sure to watch that if you're interested and you want to refine a little bit your system for the next year. This is my most controversial journal in my lineup, and in the past I have been given advice which I think is actually fair to let it go, and as I have mentioned it before, I have a very hard time letting go of my travels notebook because it is sentimental. I bought it at the same time as my sister, and it's a very sentimental journal. However, I do have to say that I have updated the coffee shop insert this month, which I feel very happy about. So I have 3 inserts in my travels notebook. One is for my book reviews, which honestly I really don't use and I don't think I'm going to use. I just have to decide what to do with it. I have Goodreads already that I think is sufficient in terms of updating what I'm reading, so I don't think this is relevant anymore. And I really, even though I like all the stickers that I put on it, I don't mind. I don't know. This one, I really don't see the purpose of it anymore, and clearly I haven't updated it because I've read a lot of different books since then and I have not updated it. Next one is my travel journal, and I had shared it last month. I had updated my Houston trip, which is really fun, and I have not updated anything else since, although I have started organizing all my ephemera for my Croatia trip and my Albuquerque trip, but I have yet to sit down and do it. I just feel as though it feels overwhelming, and at the same time, part of me wishes I had just done a digital journal, especially for my trip to Croatia. So to be determined whether what I do with it, or maybe I'll just do a junk journal style and not overthink it. I think in my mind, I really wanted to be organized with having exactly the itinerary. Day 1, we went to this city. Day 2, I went to this city, and like showing the different pictures and like the coffee shops I went to, the stores that I went to in specific cities. But that just feels a little overwhelming. So maybe I'll just do a very non-planned spread. But then I feel as though I did that with junk journal style in my bullet journal and I hated it. So I don't know yet. And so that's status quo for this one. The coffee journal though, I feel happy with it because this month I spent a bit more time adding in spreads. So the purpose of this journal, this insert, is to do coffee shops and share coffee shops that I have gone to. I like to go to a new coffee shop very often because there's a lot of options in Montreal and you have a pretty good coffee scene. So I thought that was really fun and I have been able to update it and I feel really good about it. So I decided sometimes I can do a full spread for just one coffee shop. So if they have a sticker, I'll add the pictures, etc. This is also just one coffee shop. But sometimes I will just do half a page for another coffee. So this is one coffee shop. This, I have to add in the pictures. But then this one I added 3 coffee shops in one and I just put the name under it and I still love how it turned out. This is one coffee shop. This is one coffee shop. Anyway, so instead of doing one full spread, just doing like little bits on one page has been really cool. Same thing on this page. This is one coffee shop. I only got 2 pictures from it. This is another one. I like how this turned out. This is the business card and then I added washi tape to make a little flippity flop. That way I can see the name of the coffee shop. So that's really cute. And then I have to add the picture for this one. This one is 2 different coffee shops. I just like how this turned out because I was able to like just do the creativity and then add in the pictures after the fact. So that's been a really fun way for me to do it in a less kind of pressure. Maybe that's something I should be doing for my travel insert. Anyway, we'll see. This is another one that I did recently. Loved how it turned out. This is one coffee shop, this is another one, and this is one coffee shop. So I feel really good about how these turned out. This one I'm not as crazy about, but I just created the pages and then I'll add in the pictures after the fact because I was in the mood to print the pictures, but I still felt like doing something creative. So then it's prepared and I can just add in the pictures after. Love how this turned out. So I think my coffee, this insert will stay and I am almost halfway through it. So that's actually not even halfway, maybe like a third. But I feel good about this one and that I was actually able to fill up my travels notebook a little bit more this month. To be determined what I do with the other ones. It's a dilemma that I've had since the get-go and I've received much advice from you guys to just get rid of it. But here we are, October, and I have not been able to let go of it. If you have watched my previous system updates with me, then you will know that this is hands down my favorite journal in my whole lineup. Why? Because it's my daily journal, so I use this almost every single day. It's the perfect size, and I don't know, I'm just obsessed with this journal. And you know, now I'm looking at it, it's kind of dirty, but at the same time, it just shows that it has been loved. I'm still debating what color to get for next year, so I'll have to check that out. But this is the Leuchtturm B6 journal. It's lined, hardcover, and honestly, I think it's the perfect size for daily journaling. Every single month, I also change the ink color. So I use a fountain pen in this journal, and I love how it turns out because I can just see every single month the different colors that I've been using. So I've absolutely loved this. My color for October is brown. And another thing that I've been adding in that I think is really fun are stickers. It started last month when I had a few little stickers that I need to just use up. And I was like, you know what? Let me just add it in here. Let me just find the page. But let me just add it in on these pages. And that way adds a little touch of cuteness on my pages. And it's just very easy way to decorate. So I did the same thing for this month. I added in these Midori ghost stickers and I think it's so cute and it's so funny. And it's really small that it doesn't really take up too much space, but honestly, it adds like this really cute touch to the page and it just makes me smile and it just brings me joy. So between the fun color ink, the little stickers, as well as the date stamp that I use here. This is the date stamp that I use and I really love it a lot. I feel as though I just really enjoy my experience when it comes to my daily journal. And as you can see, I have really used it this year. I'll add in some stickers ahead of time. Sometimes when I just feel like doing something mindless, I keep the rest of the sticker page at the back of my journal. That way it's super accessible and I've been able to make use of it, which is really, really great. And then that way the page is already ready and has a few stickers there and I can just show up, stamp the date and just do my daily journaling. So this has been my absolute favorite daily journal ever. So if you want to grab it as well, it's the B6 lined hardcover journal from Leuchtturm. I do have a 20% discount with code HAPPY20 if you're interested in getting the same one. And if you do, let me know what color you're picking. I'm debating of getting the same color or maybe going for the deep burgundy color. I'm not sure yet, so let me know if you get one and what color you got, so maybe we can match. But this has been my daily journal and absolutely love it. My next journal is my therapy journal. This is a Midori journal. I absolutely love it. I have mentioned it in the past. It started as a daily journal. Then it moved on to being a manifestation journal. Then it became a random journal. And then I decided I still want to make use of this because I absolutely love the paper and it's such a beautiful product and it lays flat. It's very easy to write in. So I decided this is going to be my therapy journal because I started going back to therapy like in the last month and a half or 2 months at this point. Since July. Wow, okay. It's been a lot longer. But anyway, all that to say, I like having everything in one because I can look back easily to see what we talked about, reflection, and then do my homework at the same time. So generally what happens is that I will take notes during session and I will write down my homework. Right after I hang up with my therapist, I sit down and do a post-therapy brain dump of anything that comes to mind. If any of the homework, I already had some answers for some of the homework, I will write it down. And then after the fact, when I'm sitting down to do my homework, I will do it as well. And then we'll move on to the next session and take notes and I start over again. So it's a very straightforward and organized way to keep all my therapy notes in the same spot, and I really like it a lot. I also feel as though because I'm using a fountain pen, I'm using the Lamy pen for this one, and I'm using a really beautiful Wayfarer ink from Wear & Go, and I love it a lot. It has a subtle shimmer and it's so beautiful. But anyway, it just makes the experience a little bit more enjoyable because therapy is already not easy, but I feel like this journal brings me comfort. Writing in a pen brings me joy, and it's a beautiful experience. So it just makes my therapy experience just ever so slightly more pleasant. So I love my therapy journal, which was my most recent edition, up until my latest edition, which I don't know why I didn't share with you last time, but it's this little guy. I bought this in Paris 2 years ago. I did not have a purpose for it. I just like little things and miniature things. And I guess it's an A7 size, which is teeny tiny. This is a B6. The bullet journal is an A5, just to give you an idea. I didn't know what to do with it. And then I decided I'm going to make a journal for my cat. Let me zoom you in. This is my cat, Jack, and he is the love of my life. I honestly love this journal so much. I have so many pictures of Jack because he just literally is my soul cat. So I thought that I would make a little journal of all the pictures that I have of my little cat. So I love him. I love this journal. It brings me so much joy to have all these memories, and I'm getting emotional because I love him a lot, but it just brings me a lot of joy to have like this little memory book of him. And at the same time, my pictures are not just gonna sit in my phone and I'm never gonna look at them, which I do look at them to begin with, but I also like having them printed out. And then at the same time, one thing that I love is that I'm able to sit down and do a spread, and it's so teeny tiny that it takes no time to make a spread. I printed a few extra pictures that I'll have to make more spreads with, but it really feels really satisfying to create a spread really quickly and to feel as though you did something, because sometimes creating a full spread in a A5 feels a little overwhelming. That's what ends up happening with my TN when it comes to my travel pages or even the coffee spreads. So having like a little goal and like a little teeny tiny journal makes it a lot easier for me to fill up the page and feel quite satisfied that I did something and accomplished something. So anyway, this is my pride and joy. This is a close second favorite journal after my daily journal, and I think it's really, really funny that I have a journal for my cat, and I'm not ashamed of it because he brings me a lot of joy, and I get to see all the cute little memories of him always wanting to have contact with me, or him sleeping by me, or him sitting on my lap and just like licking me and just wanting to be with me, and it just makes me feel really loved and brings me a lot of joy to have this little journal. If if you're interested in purchasing anything from Leuchtturm 1917 Canada, I have the bullet journal and the B6 daily journal. Like I mentioned, make sure to use code HAPPY20 at checkout to get 20% off everything on the website. And if you're interested in creating your own journal and planner system to think it through and make sure that it makes sense for you, that it's organized, that it's sustainable, make sure to watch this video because I walk you through how to think through how to create a journal and planner system for you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sending you a lot of love. Bye for now.